Players getting tired. Around the stoppages, there's lots of blocking for West Coast, so the ball will be hit wider and into space more. Players like Kerr with speed will be running onto it.
Again, McMahon to himself, and then a long one to Petrie. What a contrast to the only other home game North Melbourne have played down here in round 2. They won that one by 129 points. Now they find themselves just 2 points in front. It was a bad kick out from Petrie. It's a 1-point ball game. 1-point ball game, just correcting that. So now Gaff with Harvey closing on him, and the mark taken by Wells. It wasn't a good kick. He plays on. What can he do? The Peel Thunder product. One bounce, then he touches it down. Wants to draw the man. Back to Boomer Harvey. The man for the moment. Does he get away from the Brennan tackle? He got a little bit on it. Boomer Harvey kicks a wonderful goal. The man for the moment. How many times have we seen Boomer Harvey produce when it's needed the most? In game number 337, the 34-year-old gives North Melbourne a little bit of a buffer. North by 7 points, 8.5 minutes to play.
Well, this goal, you can see how excited he is because he's brought North Melbourne back in the game, even though they were still leading. But it came about because West Coast were forced further and further back, and a turnover, and he just swooped on it outstandingly.
And suddenly Nat Nui swoops. This might be something. Little give. It's not bad. Butler, long ball. Offline.
How good is watching Nat Nui come out of the centre like that? He's like an on-baller. He's super to watch.
Well, so Harvey, the old warrior at one end, doing it on memory, and Nat Nui just dishing it off to Butler. We're back to one straight kick.
So Delaney with the football now inside defensive 50. Every kick important here. Thomas had it fisted away. It falls Schofield's way. The handball had a bit too much on it, but it comes back to Shuey from Prittis, who ran into McMillan. Brilliant tackle. Had to be holding the ball, you thought. Prittis got McMahon high. Free kick, North Melbourne. Grandstand finish coming up on Saturday afternoon football. West Coast playing for equal top spot. North Melbourne playing to get a spot back in the top 8, and the ball kicked out wide. Gibson finds Harvey, the last goal scorer. The former skipper hugs the line. Well done by Gibson. He kept running, and he gets on the end of it again. North looking for 4 wins in a row, incidentally. A long kick towards the 50. Wells kept it in for just a moment and then over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Mick, 2 goals for the Eagles, 1-1 the Kangaroos. The Eagles have had plenty of opportunities.
Well, they've been inside twice as much as North Melbourne this quarter. Their hand passing, by the way, is switched over as well from that third quarter. There's a case of overuse.
And it might just hurt them. In the end, Thomas sets sail for home. He's offline horribly. And the Eagles breathe a sigh of relief. It was Q Lynch in the middle, got in the greasy cricket pitch area, lost control of the ball. And the Eagles are still alive. Plenty of time. 6 and change to play. 6 points the margin.
That one, Mick, just knowing your limitations.
Well, I reckon that what he would have done, Lynch, he wouldn't have been practicing at the Wacker during the week, that greasy pitch.
Weather fine and track fast at the Wacker, Mick.
As usual, Basil.
Lynch thumps the ball forward. Desperate, the Eagles, to try and level this up. And Hill against Grimer wins the contest. And he is in with range. He's within his kicking distance. He hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. And this an opportunity to repay the Eagles. They brought him home after his AFL career started with the Dogs, and that is terrific. And we have no leader in Tasmania. And for that he comes hobbling to the bench. And what a game this has been. 35 points the Kangaroos led by. The Eagles have come storming home. with 5 and change to play, we've got a level ball game with so much to play for.
Yeah, wonderful goal by Josh Hill. He took that mark coming across the face of the pack, which is the way he doesn't want to get into a one-on-one situation. He needs to come across. He did, and finish off with a wonderful goal.
Scores a level for the first time in 83 minutes. North Melbourne do not find themselves in front. Nat Nui brilliant down to Kerr, but taken by Atley, who sends it back towards half forward. Thomas almost couldn't quite mark. Gathered now by Tarrant, sends it towards full forward. Glass, well done. The skipper put his body in front. Handball to Hearn, who moves it quickly. Matthew Prittis, possession number 33. He's been outstanding today, particularly in the second half. And what about the kick to Darling? He marks at full stretch. Cox comes, and Cox marks. 40 metres out. A strong grab, the hands above the head. And Dean Cox, who kicked the opening goal, goes back for another. He dished it off, and in the end, Prittis ineffective. He should have done better than that.
Well, I just can't understand that. He's such a wonderful kick from that distance, and he would shoot up 30 seconds, settle everything down. At the moment, it's a bit of a rush for them. So they've paid a penalty there, 5-point penalty, I believe.
They haven't led this game since the 22-minute mark of the first term. The Eagles are in front now. Stevens gets beaten, and then the Kangaroos can work it to the outer side. Adams, Prittis, Hearn, both ferocious in their attack. And the ball spills over outer side. Great game of football, still well and truly in the balance. Cox and Goldstein, so good all day. Kerr in his 200th, couldn't take it. The skipper for the Roos searches for McMillan, paddles it wide, they'll be okay here. Atley, quick hack into the middle of the ground, it's all Eagles. Hearn.
Not going to play 50, arms around, holding North Melbourne.
He's holding arms down, I can't get him up.
You run the risk of putting him around though. Time back on, please. Play on.
So the Kangaroos get a little bit of a breather, and they still have an opportunity to steal this game back. They trail by a point. Goldstein to Lee Adams, and now to the lead of Tarrant. What an afternoon he's had inside 50. He can go back and kick goal 4. He's had 3 goals, 2 penciled into his score sheet so far this afternoon. This to put the Kangas back in front. The Eagles have kicked 8 of the last 11, and Tarrant has kicked one for the Kangaroos. Siddle and Ponting watch on. The Kangas back in front. Well, this is why we love this game of football. The lead has been as much as 35 points in favour of the Kangaroos, and the Eagles regain the lead, and suddenly it's the Kangas again, and still we have no idea who wins this.
Robbie Tarrant, how excited is he here? That's a wonderful goal. He's kicked 1 in each quarter. He's been just terrific for them.
Peter Siddle and Ricky Ponting almost as excited. 4 goals for the second time in his career. West Coast momentarily took the lead. A Prittis behind gave them that. But now it's North by 5 points. They wrestle inside the centre square, and we're going to have another bounce.
Jack Siebel was so important in the clinches there, diving on the footy.
Shot of John Worsfold on screen. Not quite helpless, but not a lot the coach can do now, and the ball spills out Mackenzie's way. A little bit lucky then, the West Coast Eagles. Cox again takes a strong mark. Dean Cox, as we've seen him do a number of times today, strong in front of goal, and I dare say he won't play on this time.
Well, he shouldn't play on, and no, he won't play on, but he's such a strong man, a strong mark, beautiful kick. But that ball come from Mackenzie. Mackenzie, I don't think he's had a great day, Mackenzie, but that time he got the 45 to 50 metre kick and put it in the right spot. And Cox did the rest, or he's done part of the rest anyway with his marking.
2 goals, 1 today, 18-9 this year. He kicked 20 goals been a big factor in front of goal to give West Coast the lead back. He goes bang, goal. West Coast up by a point.
Yeah, this is terrific stuff. It's amazing, this game. It's ebbed and flowed. Both coaches are under massive pressure now. You might think that the coach, it's all over. No, he might make the right move to get the right player into the centre, around the stoppage, and to make something happen. Cox there finishes off beautifully. But this game, even though there's only 2.5 minutes or thereabouts left, the right people in and around the ball is essential. You can't let a player come off that you don't want off. And we'll see, basically, they'll load up with both sides with their best possible lineup around the football. West Coast got a guy behind the ball already, and that looks like Lynch.
So the scoreline, the Eagles won a premiership within 06, 85 plays, 84, the 5th lead change of the afternoon. Is there another chapter to be written in this one? It's been a fabulous afternoon of football. Nat Nui against Goldstein. Goldstein so good all afternoon. Kerr and his 200th wrapped up.
17 seconds to get the ball from centre to goal. I think that's probably the quickest around, or about the average quickest anyway. So plenty of time for both sides to have a shots on goal. But they won't move far when sides are so desperate. But looking at both forward lines, interesting enough that North Melbourne at this stage have got Tarrant up around the centre. I would suspect that they should get him back to the goal line for his marking capability.
Adams crashes the ball forward. Who's there? Schofield. Bouncing ball. Ugly for him initially. The Eagles have got the numbers and they hold their feet in the slippery conditions. Touch play on the call. Zeeble receives from Selwood. Marston wraps him up. Zeeble underneath it all. The Eagles will be happy with that. Big tackle. Marston made it stick.
Yeah, it was a great tackle. That ball came away from that forward line because of the +1 from the West Coast Eagles.
So important there, the tackle. Matt Nui over the top. It went down Adams' way, then Ferrito. Harper on the ground. He missed the footy, but it spills at the back. It's gathered by Wells. He kicks in the Thomas direction. No free kick. North Melbourne fans and players thought there was a free kick. Lynch mopping up. Kerr goes up and wins the free kick for West Coast. Important. Let's have a look. Was there a free there, Mick?
There wasn't a free initially. No, I don't think so. And it may have ended up with him laying on his back. That's only because he fell over.
Less than 90 seconds to play. Daniel Kerr with possession 29 in game 200. Runner-up in a Brownlow medal. And second and third in the voting in years where he was ineligible. Shuey's kick wide and just inside the field of play. Boundary umpire, you could see, was right there.
So Kerr again sends him forward. Cox in the right spot. Oh, and the moment requires a big man with safe hands. So often Dean Cox supplies the Eagles fans with what they're searching for. Again inside 50. Can the Kangaroos somehow find the ball? Schofield runs inside. This will finish it if it's a goal. It's not. And the Kangaroos regain possession. 33 seconds on the clock, 2-point ball game. Can North hold their nerve?
Anthony wastes no time at all, and nor can he. Goes to Atley, who needs to move the ball quickly. He goes out wide and they find their man. The handball not particularly good from Grimer, but it works out okay. Swallow involved. Back to Anthony. Long again. Dean Cox, mark number 15. Career high, and that might just about be it. Less than 10 seconds to play. Dean Cox has been terrific. He stood up when needed, and West Coast are going to win this game, you fancy. They win it and go back equal top of the ladder with Collingwood. West Coast Day, they come from 55 points behind to win it by 2 points. What a game in Hobart.